Can you really sue for that? So today we're going to talk about different situations that many of us run into on a very regular basis, and we're going to see, can you sue for this? Is somebody responsible? If so, for what? And what can you do to make situations better? So the first question you want to ask yourself is, can you sue for food burns or unlisted allergens in products that you consume? Absolutely you can. Manufacturers have an absolute duty to explain to you very specifically what are the ingredients in products that they are producing that they want you to purchase and consume. My daughter Morgan also has allergies, and she's a very beautiful girl. And my wife is very careful about making sure that anyone who's taking care of her understands these allergies, knows the ramifications of these allergies. And one day when she was at school, there was a party, there was a get-together, and my wife is very good about when there's a party, hey, okay, here's the food for everyone else, and here's the food for Morgan. She segregates the food to make sure that there is no question, no issues, and there's no problems. But even under those circumstances, accidents can happen. My daughter was at school, she ate her private food, but the person who served the food put their hands in the other food first before putting it in Morgan's. And as they served my daughter, she immediately had a reaction. So my daughter was, again, taken to the nurse, taken to the hospital. She had to have a shot. She had to have medical care. And she was okay because everyone knew and we were aware as these circumstances and we dealt with them quickly. But again, it's just another situation and circumstance where if you have allergies and people don't deal with them properly, the ramifications can be dire and people can die. You're on speaker with my marketing crew.
Hey. Hello.
So we're talking about food allergies.
Okay.
So you came up.
Oh.
Remember what happened with you at school?
How could I forget?
What was you're allergic to what?
Cashews.
Cashews. Okay. And what happened again?
They gave me cashew milk ice cream so that I didn't have to eat the dairy ice cream because I was allergic to dairy as well. So that was the supplement they gave us instead, and then I ended up having an allergic reaction to that too.
And then what happened to you?
My face started swelling up really badly, and so we gave it a little bit of time to see if I really needed to go to the hospital, and then we had decided I needed to go because I was going into anaphylactic shock.
So what happens when you go over to your friend's house and you slip in something over there causing you significant injury? Do you have a cause of action against the host for negligence? The answer is, it depends. So if you go over to your friend's house and there is alcohol being consumed and that alcohol is excessive and contributes to your injury, there's no question you have an action against the host. They are taking on the responsibility of allowing alcohol to be consumed, and because of that, if any accidents do happen that they should have stopped or slowed down or done something about, they're going to be responsible under those circumstances. If you're injured in someone's house because the house is in ill repair and they're aware of it and they don't do anything to fix it, or they don't disclose information to you contributing to your injury, then of course they're going to be responsible. As a host, you have a duty to people you invite to your home to protect them, to warn them, to make sure it's safe. And if they fail to do these things and injuries do ensue, you need to teach them a lesson and sue them. It's the same thing with pet bites. If you have a pet and you know your pet doesn't like people, doesn't like being around them, you need to segregate and separate that pet from people. If you fail to do that, oh, that dog's fine, everything's gonna be just fine, and the dog ends up biting someone, obviously you know the dog is susceptible to injuring people, and if injuries do occur, you as the pet owner are responsible. However, if you do separate that pet and the pet is upstairs. Hey, I got my Great Danes upstairs. Don't go up there. Don't go in there. Leave it alone. And your buddy comes over and they've enjoyed a few too many cervezas and they go open the door. If they are consequently bitten, then there is no fault of the property owner. They've done everything they can to separate, warn you, protect you. And then you are going to be responsible for your own negligence because you created this situation on your own, through your own volition, your own stupidity, and you've got no cause of action against the property owner. The unfortunate reality is online bullying is becoming more and more prevalent. And in my opinion, those bullies that are picking on certain particular targets, especially if they're minors, especially if they know that their reactions might lead to a specific result, are absolutely going to be responsible if something bad happens, okay? Under certain circumstances, and let's talk about that. If you've got someone who's targeting someone, who knows that they're susceptible, who is going after someone just being absolutely mean, and knows that a specific reaction may occur, I believe you have an action against that particular bully. You're seeing many situations now where people are unaliving themselves because of comments that are being made. And I think that these people need to be held responsible. In addition to that, not only do you have an action potentially against that bully, but you may also have an action against the social media source. Because if they know, or they should know, that they should be trying to protect the audience, that they know that these things are going out there in cyberspace, and they can imply or they can employ certain tactics, certain AI, things to monitor, things to slow things down. They have been warned and they fail to do things about what's going on just because they want as much content and much people and much everything as possible. They are not doing their jobs, and they also can be held responsible. And while you may only be able to get $1 million or $2 million potentially from the actual bully, from that social media provider who has got a huge audience out there and a much bigger responsibility because these events could occur over and over and over again, that value against that particular defendant might be 10 times, 100 times, 1,000 times as much, because we as a society have to send a message to those social media providers that they have a responsibility to protect us, to care for us, and not just look out for that bottom line. So make sure you keep these things in mind when you start thinking about these cyber attacks, these bullyings, and things of this nature. Okay, so hopefully you've learned some things and shed some light on some things that we all run into out there, and whether or not you can sue or not sue, and what other responsibilities people have with regards to providing and making people safe. Hopefully you've learned something from it. I'd love to hear what your comments are. Let us know what you're thinking. What else would you like to hear about? And until next time, this is D. Miller, and this is, you know it, DLAW.